Welcome. I am so excited you're here with me today. I am here with Stephanie to talk to you about her journey out of education. Hey, Stephanie, how are you today? I'm so happy to be here with you.
Good morning, Cindy. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh my goodness, it is my absolute pleasure. So tell everybody, what are you doing? Because you are in a dream job. What are you doing?
I am. I got very, very, very lucky. I am an account manager for a curriculum company. I work with school districts, administrators, teachers, which is my favorite part of it. And I get to introduce to them a really sound program that helps support their students' success and also makes it a lot easier for teachers and administrators. So I absolutely love what I do.
So you are doing what so many teachers talk about wanting to do, which is making a difference in education
Mhm.
on a larger scale.
That is correct. Yep. I left teaching knowing that that was the direction that I wanted to be headed. I wanted to be involved in education, use all those skill sets I worked really hard to foster, and then give back into that world. So it is an absolute dream. I'm so excited. Every day I have to pinch myself. I'm like, how did I get here? Just a year ago, I was in a classroom and I loved that too. But now I get to work with a really team-minded, incredible group of professionals that all previously were educators. And our mission just really is to make education better for social studies and science one day at a time. So it's incredible.
I am so happy for you. I hope that everybody heard that everybody on your team is also a former educator,
Yeah, that
right?
was big.
So those are the people that these companies are hiring.
That's right. I think a lot of people look at teachers and they think, oh, I could never transition out of the classroom because I just have this skill set. But there are so many companies that are looking for teachers because they can do it all with a smile on their face. So, yeah.
Exactly. So how has your life changed? Because it has changed
Oh
a lot.
my. Well, you would know more than anyone, I would think. But yeah, I went from working into a classroom with students every day to traveling the country almost at least every other week for right now, working at home, which has been great and also not so great in some other ways too. But there have been, I think in every area of my life, there's been a change.
And positive changes.
Positive changes, yeah, absolutely. Flexibility with your schedule, being able to, run out of the room real quickly if you need to do something. I don't feel like I'm stuck in my classroom. I can use the bathroom when I need to, which is great and nice in its own way. Yeah, it's been a whirlwind. Like I said, I've only been with this company for a little bit over a month, but the changes have been monumental.
You had flexibility as a mom that you never had before as a
I
teacher.
know. Yeah, I'm in the car rider line now, picking up my daughter, which is something new. And it's like, I get excited to do that. I remember the first day of school this year, driving to see my daughter off on the bus, which I never got to do before. And I was walking past previous students of mine, and they're all like, hey, Miss Q, how are you? And I was like, oh my gosh, this is the first time I've ever seen kids at a bus stop. Because normally I'm in my classroom waiting for them to enter into the hallway and into my room. So I get to see education on the side of a parent for the first time. And that has been really rewarding.
Right? And for you and for your children,
Yeah.
right? For you to be able to be involved in a way that you
Yeah.
never could do before.
Yeah, I'm volunteering with the PTO. I'm working with the teachers now. I get to kind of take that back seat and just kind of really support the teachers and support the school, which was something that I did, but I was being paid to do, right? So
Right.
I it was my job, but now I get to do it in a way that, works for me and I get to decide and choose what events I want to partake in. And my daughter is so excited that I get to be a mom now and not just, the teacher in her district. So it's been great.
How amazing. The fact that this new job has impacted so much of your life.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. It really helps with those relationships. I think the biggest shift for me is that you put so much time as an educator into helping everyone else's babies be successful and filling their tanks every day. And then you come home after a long day of being in the classroom for 7, 8 hours, and then you feel like your tank is empty to give back to your children. And I mean, we all know like that ride home, you're just like, oh, like I'm not talking for the first time in 8 hours, right? And then you pull into your driveway and then your kids are like, Mom, I need this, Mom, I need that. So being in this career has really given me that emotional bank to be present for my children and not, feel emotionally drained, which has been great.
It's fantastic.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
also the salary is better, right? Like,
Yeah, I mean, I will say that was a big shock for me. I think for me, they doubled my salary almost immediately just to start. And of course, that is, before commission, which I can't even imagine later in life how I will be able to, you know, have those changes. But I am so appreciative to that as well. But that was a very small piece of why I went into this field, but it certainly feels really great to feel valued and respected as a professional, and to be compensated as one as well.
love that.
Yeah,
Love
definitely.
that. So
Yeah.
what was it like with us working together? How did I help you out?
Yeah, so I reached a point, but pretty early. So I started doing interviews and things like that on my own, and I wasn't making, it wasn't working for me. And I thought I really need to invest in someone that is going to totally walk me through every step of the way and give me eyes, because my lens has only been in education with the focus of the demos and like the interviews. So going to corporate, I really just didn't know what I didn't know. And when I looked for a job coach, I actually looked at several, but I felt like you were going to be the woman that was going to make the commitment to get to know me, figure out who I was, and then be able to drive and kind of guide me in those directions. And I think that you and I met and did our first consultation. And like the next day, I was like, oh, I got an interview. And we hit
And
the ground running.
we moved a session so we could start practicing for that interview. It was like right away, right? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And it was great because you immediately were like, okay, when's your interview? I'm gonna move my schedule around to fit and make it work for you. And then you asked me questions that were really hard, but they helped me kind of present myself in the best way possible. When you're going into a sales position, you have to market yourself and be able to give them a real world examples of what you did and how you can kind of translate that into your new career. And you were like, no, this is what you did, all these things. Like you can brag about yourself. You can say that, you led and did this project and be specific with that because they want to hear that. And that wasn't something that I was thinking about. So it wasn't on my radar. And I felt like after our first meeting and I did that interview with the company I'm with now, I felt really confident and I just felt like I could give them my best foot forward. So I wasn't sugarcoating anything, and just being honest and real. So you were so helpful with that first step, but then didn't end there, right? Right. So do you want me to keep telling you about how quickly?
Well, I mean, this was a fast process for you. We were working through a lot of steps of interviewing and traveling and projects, right?
Oh yeah, it was, I want to say within, it was almost 3 weeks. I think I
Something like
did
that.
5, 6 interviews,
Something like that. Yeah.
including a trip to California and back.
Yes.
And then yeah,
Yes.
and being on the road and doing my other interviews. So that was scary. That was brand new. After the, I guess, second interview with the company, I got an email. They wanted me to fly to California like a couple days later, right? And I had no other information other than, I was just going to meet with their CEO and their team. And I remember texting you and be like, oh my gosh, like, can you believe that this is what's going to happen? And you helped me figure out what to wear, like how do I dress for an in-person interview again, because everything's online. And I certainly have never traveled across the country for a sales interview. And just when I was starting to like get comfortable and be, oh, this is great, I'm so excited, I was handed a project to do
Yeah.
because, but that's typical. That is
Because
very
it's sales. Because it's sales.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you were kind of like, it's okay. You've got this. Like, you know what you want to say. You've used this company. You have to dive deep back to when you were a teacher and be able to share what was great about it and really, be able to be natural. So I prepared that within like, I think it was like 36 hours. There was 3-part projects and you were just really supportive. Cindy, you were always there when I needed to ask you a question. And that was a lot of professionals. I think a lot of people kind of step away, they have that separation, right? And you were texting me at 9 o'clock at night. You were texting me like even when I was in a different time zone. And I needed to be able to ask those questions because I didn't know anyone else who had been in that career, and didn't understand transitioning teachers. So that was huge for me. And ultimately, everything went really well and I was offered the position And again, you were the first one to know, and you were just as excited.
Thank you. You're amazing. And then we've been working together. You had the position, and we've been working together to get you set up for success at that new project, at that new position, so
Yeah.
that you can rise that ladder. So what's that been looking like?
I will be honest, I didn't think I was going to need as much support transitioning into the new role, but I was wrong. Even with being confident and loving my new role and just feeling like I could take on the world, there were so many different facets of it that I needed that support. I kind of joked a little bit, Cindy, you were like my counselor so many times because I would just get overwhelmed, like working in your house, right? Going from traveling to work every day for 12 years and then being in your house and you're trying to, I mean, we've had so many conversations about my dog barking, which I've like lost my mind over. How do I navigate your world still being here and then also being present in your career? That was really, really difficult for me. What I needed help with even how to pack traveling. Like, how silly is that, right? But I'm used to packing for 10-day vacations. But now but now I'm traveling and I'm bebopping around from airport to airport in a day's time. I don't have time to have this big suitcase to go through, baggage. So little things like you set me up with, oh my goodness, one of my favorite tips from you was that I had my little bag already ready to go with like my travel size products. And I have that. I literally bought every travel size product, put it in my bag, and now at a moment's notice, I grab it, throw it, and I'm out. So that was one of the little tricks that you didn't think you need to know, but you need to know. Managing my stress level, organizing my day when you don't have someone handing you a schedule, right? You were like, that's easy. Gotcha. You can get a planner, you can plan your projects out. And that's what I did. And now I feel much better. The structured teacher in me is at peace. I have my planner, and it was something so small that I didn't even know that I needed to have, right? So those were really big things for me. And then even kind of talking me off a ledge because I think I wanted to move, right? I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah.
buy a new house. I don't have enough space for an office. You were like, whoa, let's bring it down. You don't need to buy a new house right now because you don't have a home office. We can work with the space that you have. We can buy a couple things. We can figure out how to give you that privacy that you need and not have to go spend $500,000.
Yep, yep. Yes, we had that conversation and you got it all worked out.
I
And
did.
look
I
at
ordered
how
a
much
little.
money you saved by just buying a couple little inexpensive things and not buying a new house.
Right. And I really was serious about buying a house. Like, I mean, my realtor, I had already talked with her and I was like, ready to, let's go buy a new house. But I think that when you hear job coach and, you have so much experience, I was just thinking you were just going to help me just with the resume, just with the LinkedIn. I didn't realize how much support I needed once I hit the ground running. And that to me, I needed those sessions to be able to cry or be excited or whatever it was. You were really in tune with what I needed to grow and just have those foundational boxes.
Thank you so much. I have
Yeah.
been so honored to provide all of that, right? Because I always tell people that it doesn't end with getting the job. It starts with getting the job. And if we want to hit new levels in our life, whoever we are, we
Hmm.
need to have those coaches. We need to have that outside eye looking in, that extra vision of how could you be more successful there? And
Absolutely.
and you are absolutely thriving. I am so
Oh,
proud of you. I am so excited for you.
thank
Any
you.
final words of advice for any career pivoters, transitioning teachers, people
Yeah,
returning to the workforce?
absolutely. I think that if this is a direction that your heart is set in, then you owe it to yourself to make those changes and investments that are going to ultimately get you into the position you want to be in. If there's a will, there's a way. Just because one door shuts doesn't mean another one's not meant for you. The company that I'm with now is absolutely a dream, not even just because of the money, just because of the people, right? So I think that if this is the direction you want, being able to work with Cindy is an investment that will absolutely set you up for success.
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah.
I wish you so much continued success, and I know that you're going to achieve it.
Thank you, Cindy. I appreciate you having me on here.
Thank you.
Bye.